Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the We're Not Stumped podcast. I'm your host, Mike Bolin, and today is Thursday, so we're going to go into something a little different. No guests today. I'm just going to give you some of the opinions I have about things, and today's opinion is going to be a little strong because I'm going to talk about, in particular, the upper limb prosthetic community and some of the organizations that represent upper limb prosthetics and upper limb people and how they go to market. I don't know if this is something that can be also talked about in the lower limb. I'd love to hear from you if you have a lower limb and kind of don't like the way some of these companies go to market to make you feel inferior or even scare you into thinking that you need their product. So let me go to the first one here. This organization is called LN4 Hand Project. The LN4 Hand Project. Trying to do the right thing. I'm not saying they aren't. But let's go to their About Us page and let's read what they have in the About Us page. The first thing, our mission. Here's what they say. A prosthetic hand is an invaluable asset to an individual without an upper limb. You, L4N, are speaking in absolutes. Why? Who told you that? Who told you every person, look at right here in front of the camera, I have one hand. Who told you every person with an upper limb deficiency, I think as you said it, without an upper limb? Who told you every one of us needed that invaluable asset or needs it? Who told you that? Do you employ any one-handed or no-handed people at all? Are any? I don't care about your ambassadors. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Oh, there are ambassadors. These people don't seem to employ very talented people who are available. They should put their money where their mouth is if they're going to do that. Who told you that? Where did you feel? Who said that? Where did you get your data to say that? That's bullshit. That's not 100% true. And it's things like this that affect people like me and other people that I've had on the We're Not Stumped podcast, because people will read something like that and look at me and think, oh, that poor guy, he needs a prosthetic. It's an invaluable asset. Bullshit. Change that. Here's another thing they wrote. The very next paragraph. An upper limb prosthesis can determine whether or not an individual is able to be employed, contribute to household duties, or provide an increased sense of independence. All right, let's take, again, where did you get this information? Where? You're saying I could never find a job because I have one hand? Where did you get this information? I mean, you're probably, people that are in the hiring and they're going to read that are probably going to think, well, this guy's got one hand. He doesn't have a prosthesis, so obviously we shouldn't hire him. That hurts people. That doesn't help. That hurts. So let's take it step by step, bit by bit on this one. An upper limb prosthesis can determine whether or not an individual is able to be employed. Again, an absolute. I was able to be employed. I worked for a multi-billion-dollar organization where I ran our e-business department, our digital marketing, and our customer experience. I was a professional. I got invited to Google, Adobe, Salesforce, in Moment as a speaker and as a professional. Who the hell are you to say that we need one of your prosthesis or any prosthesis to be employable? You know what? Sometimes when you say things enough, it becomes the truth. Take that down. Or at least don't make it an absolute. It's terrible that you wrote that about people with missing upper limbs. It's terrible. And if you don't believe me, then you must have two hands. I'd love to hear it. Bring it on. And then check this out. Contribute to household duties. You know what? I wish that was true. I wish I wouldn't have to scrub the toilet. I wish that I wouldn't have to do dishes. I wish I wouldn't have to sweep. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Where do you get your information? That you're either lying or you have never met a person with one hand, because it just can't be true. You are BSing and you're making us look bad by saying this is an absolute. It is not. The way you phrased it, it's an absolute. It is not an absolute. Fix it. Fix it. And then the last thing, and provide an increased sense of independence. Really? You don't think I'm confident and independent? I wouldn't call you out. I'd be too scared and timid. I'm not. Fix that. That's bullshit the way you have that written. I don't like it when organizations scare people into either getting their prosthetic or, in your case, donate to them. Oh, if you don't donate to us, these people with one hand, they got nothing going for them. You know what? I know what you're doing. You're helping people all over the world. You have a very noble cause. But don't talk in absolutes about people like me, because that is what makes it true. That is what makes people think I can't do things, because they read mission statements like this, which is complete and utter bullshit, and they think it's true. You are the reason why people like me don't get a chance. It's not because you're a prosthetic. You think that if I wore a prosthetic into a job interview that people wouldn't notice? Are you kidding me? They know I'd have one hand. So it doesn't matter whether I have one on or not. I'm going to have one hand. That doesn't matter. It doesn't mean I'm going to be able to be employed because I have a prosthesis on. What, are you kidding me? You've never had your lived life. This is part of my lived experience. You are wrong. And you can tell me all the things, well, I've met these individuals, I did that. Well, you know, I lived it. And I had to go through this. I had to fight to get a job because I had one hand, not because I didn't wear a prosthetic. It's utterly disgusting the way that's written. And you know what? If you don't agree with me, fine. But let me flip this around. There's a gentleman, when you go to the board of directors, on LN4, was it LN4? LN4 Hand Project. His name is Michael Mendonca, Mendonca. Michael Mendonca. There's a picture of him on there. So I usually don't talk like this, but because your mission in history says a prosthetic hand is an invaluable asset to an individual without an upper limb, let's just call it like it is. This picture of Michael looks like it was a few years ago, and even at that time, he didn't have a 4 head. He had an 8 head. So most likely, he's like my brother, who is bald. Okay, so let's flip this around. Let's say instead of a prosthetic hand, we said a toupee is an invaluable asset to an individual without hair. A toupee can determine whether or not an individual is able to be employed, contribute to household duties, or provide an increased sense of independence. Doesn't that sound demeaning? I mean, that actually sounds ridiculous, okay? Because those don't go hand in hand. Let's say it like it is. But what if we said, you know, Mike, half the population thinks you're ugly because you're bald. Or you should have no confidence in yourself because you're bald. You really should have no confidence. You should go to the hair club for men right now because you're bald. Wouldn't that make you feel like shit? Wouldn't you be like, what? What are you talking about? So why are you, Mr. Board of Director, I don't know what his position is, why are you allowing that? Why is that on your mission? A prosthetic hand is an invaluable asset to an individual without an upper limb. You know what? Grow hair, Mike. I'll grow a hand if you grow hair. How's that sound? Or Michael, whatever the hell you go by. I don't even care. I have no respect. I mean, if anybody from this organization wants to reach out and be on my podcast, I'll tell you what, right now, you can be on my podcast, but we're not having any pre-conversation. You're going to come on and you're going to defend what you had to say. And you're going to do it to a one-handed person. I bet you won't do it. Because there's no reason why you contribute to household duties. Again, I wish that was true. You're making it sound like we can't do anything. We can't take care of ourselves. We can. That is disgusting to talk about someone like that. In absolutes. You don't know every person with upper limb deficiencies. You don't know me, so don't talk about me like that. You got it? Good. That's LN4. Here's another organization that wow. So they are called Taska Prosthetics. Again, I think they're probably trying to do the right thing, just like LN4, whatever the hell their name is. I'm sure they're trying to do the right thing. But you watch their videos, and I got some examples. So if you're listening to this podcast, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this part. So here goes the first one. Here's their video of someone with one hand washing an apple. I'm not washing and then cutting an apple. Oh my God. You know, one-handed people without a prosthetic, there's no way in hell they can wash and cut an apple. There's no way they can do that. Of course we can. Here's another thing they show. Here is a gentleman doing some DIY housework. And here he is using a socket wrench. Okay. I'm not going to say he's wrong in how he does it, because we are all going to do things differently. But again, watch the video. Here is me with a socket wrench. Look at how much faster that is. I don't need a prosthetic. Don't put the fear in people to think they need a prosthetic. Like, oh, hey, without a prosthetic, you're not ever going to be able to use a socket wrench again. And here's another one. Starting a lawnmower. Yeah, us one-handed people, we can't start a lawnmower without a Taska Prosthetic. I mean, wow, I don't know what we would do without it. Again, this is all absolutes. If you really care about the upper limb community, you'd show other ways to do it. You wouldn't just, but it's all about selling your product. It's all about your board members. It's all about money. It's not about the community. And that's what I don't like about this kind of stuff. Here is me starting a lawnmower on TikTok. So that's how I do it. And lastly, look at this video. This person picks up some palm fronds, I guess, out of his pool with his prosthetic. Well, of course. Why would you use your hand? But then he takes the palm fronds and puts it in his hand. What's the purpose? I got an idea as someone with one hand. Why don't you just use your hand to put the palm fronds in? You could skip the prosthetic 100%. Is this real life? Like, you really think that somebody with one hand can't wash an apple? Can't work on a house? I want to know. Did this gentleman, it looks like a guy in all of these videos, did this person tell you this is how he uses his prosthetic? Or did you write what you wanted him to do? Was it your marketing department said, an apple? One-handed people with apples, oh my God, don't get me started on that. What, are you kidding me? I bet it was your marketing department. And I bet everyone in that marketing department has two hands. Tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. Do you employ anyone with one hand other than the ambassadors? Oh, but they got to be ambassadors. We got to have ambassadors. Do you have one person that is employed, like in a leadership position in your organization? And if you do, I'd love to have them on this podcast, and I want to talk to them about how they could basically make us look like we can't do anything. We can't wash an apple without a prosthetic. Get them on here. I want to have that conversation, because this is what makes it hard for people with one hand. People with two hands already don't think we can do things. You're showing us washing an apple? Like that's what the prosthetics. What are you talking about? You got to do better, man. You got to do better than that. If you're going to show this prosthetic in action, show it doing some real things. I mean, I'll give you the DIY stuff. I do it better. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm faster. I mean, I proved it. The video's there to prove it. But picking up a palm frond and putting it in his hand, and I know what your purpose was on both of them, even for the apple, our prosthetic, it's waterproof. Then show us doing something cool in the water, man. Washing an apple? Washing an apple. How can you not wash an apple with one hand? I ask. Tell me how you cannot wash an apple with one hand. And again, I'll go back to it. And you know what? Everyone that listens to this podcast, everyone that is in the limb loss community, I got to let you know, man, you don't have to be treated like this. You don't have to be talked down to. You're allowed to have confidence. I talk about it all the time. But these are the kind of videos, these are the kind of things, this is kind of the way people talk about us that make us look like we're a bunch of idiots. We're not. We're smart people. We're very capable. We're capable of washing our own apples. It's absolutely ridiculous. So there's my rant. I want to hear your opinion on this. And I'd love to hear from either one of those organizations. Again, come on. I mean, be prepared for a conversation, because I have a ton of lived experiences, and I don't like people talking to me like I can't do crap because I don't wear a prosthetic, or I need a prosthetic to do X, Y, or Z. I don't. I mean, the only thing I need a prosthetic for, I built my own to do weightlifting, but I built my own. And I am not against prosthetics. People need them, great. But you can't talk in absolutes. You cannot talk in absolutes. Not all of us need it. Half the upper limb people that I've had on this podcast do not wear prosthetics. Half do. Fine. It's all up to us. We get to make that decision. But we don't need to be pressured into it, and we don't need society to look at us like we're incapable of doing things just because we don't wear a prosthetic. So that's my rant for today. Everyone, have a great week. And if you guys have the guts to come on the podcast, let's talk.